I keep accidentally wearing green for my favourite performances, so today I actively went, no green, no green. Hello, hello, and welcome to another episode of My Favourite Performances. And today we're talking about the lovely Dan Stevens. This one was triggered by Blithe Spirit coming out last month, and I think it's just come out in America as well. I did a review of that, so go check that out. It will be in the cards, in the description, and at the end of the video. But I'm going to start with Night at the Museum, Secret of the Tomb. This was the film that started my love for Dan Stevens, with his luscious hair and his beautiful eyes, and I need to calm down. He's just so lovely. He plays Lancelot and he is so funny in this. But it's like a hint of sadness because all the British Museum characters are coming to life for the first time. They don't realise that they're not real. And Lancelot, especially when he's riding his horse through London to find Camelot. I'd like to see him play a knight again because he's really good at it, and play like really big animated comedy characters because he just does it so well. A completely different film that he was in is The Guest. He was fantastic in this, and his character was terrifying. There was one scene where I had to pause it straight after because I was shooketh to the core of my very being. Oh my god, I had to pause and just appreciate the sheer talent that he has. Basically, in the previous scene, he's had like a really big win and he's like achieved something really great. The guy that he's talking to reveals to him that he knows his secrets, but he's not going to tell anyone. And his face drops like that. It's terrifying. It's a proper like, I'm going to kill you stare. And it just, oh my god, it was so subtle, but so powerful and uncomfortable. Ugh. Then, the same speed, going back to smiley, happy, upbeat. What? The talent of this man cannot be measured. A film that I loved him in from last year is Eurovision, The Story of Fire Saga. Now, I loved this film anyway because we didn't get Eurovision. I was so excited for it. So it was a nice like substitute for it. And he plays the Russian entry, Alexander Lemtov, I want to say. My only criticism with his performance in this is that they dubbed over him on the singing, and I was not happy about that. He has a beautiful voice, and we will come on to that later. But he really sold the performance, and I thought it was him singing anyway. I had to look it up. I was like, oh, wait, no, it's not. And I got angry. I'm not Russian. I don't really know anyone that's Russian. But I was convinced by the accent. I don't know whether it was good as a Russian accent. I mean, as someone who doesn't really hear it a lot, I believed it. He said in an interview that when he had scenes with like Rachel McAdams and Will Ferrell, they all just kind of moulded into a generic like European accent, just a mix of all the accents that everyone was doing. It sounds like hard work when you're doing an accent that's so far from your own and other people are doing the same but with a different accent. Like the amount of concentration it must have taken. Another release from last year is The Rental. I'm not too sure how I feel about the film, to be honest. I'm still in two minds about it. It was described as a horror, but it's more of like a drama that turns into a thriller. It was good, it just wasn't scary, so I just felt a bit disappointed. But we're talking about Dan, and he was fantastic in this. He had a great connection with all the other actors in it, and the dog. I think it was a little French bulldog or something, like a really like stocky little thing. And they had a bit of a party and consumed some naughty substances, we'll say. And he ended up dancing with the dog, and it was just the cutest scene that I've ever seen. And his American accent is really good. If I didn't know he was English, I'd be convinced. He's very natural with it, and it doesn't feel like put on. Like some actors, when they put on accents, it feels really uncomfortable because they're either not confident with it or they haven't got it down perfectly. But Dan is fantastic at accents. I want to hear more accents. I want to see what he can do, see the range. And finally, I couldn't talk about Dan Stevens without talking about Beauty and the Beast. Right, we've established that he is a very lovely man. He's gorgeous and I love him. But, and I know I'm not the only one, when he goes from beast to human at the end, I'm a bit disappointed. Anyway, moving swiftly on. His performance as a beast is fantastic. I didn't know it was him when I first watched it. His voice is so different. It's so like gruff and intimidating. But then when he sings, oh, it's so beautiful. Evermore was so powerful and emotional and just... It's a fantastic song. I think it's Josh Groban that does like the cover version of it. And he's a brilliant singer, but nothing compared to Dan Stevens because his acting in it is just, undescribably brilliant. I'm going to start a new thing where I'm comparing like originals to remakes. So I'm going to talk about Beauty and the Beast a bit more in depth in that because I also need to fangirl over Luke Evans. So yeah, those are my favourite performances from Dan Stevens. Again, there'll be a new person next month. I already know who it is, already prepared, already on it. They've actually done a film together, so it was a nice overlap. So you can try and guess who it is, but you probably won't get it. Thanks for watching. Give it a like if you liked it. Subscribe if you want more of this. But as always, stay safe and look after yourselves. Bye!